Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hello, my brothers and sisters in Islam. So, inshallah, today we are going to continue with our daily episode. So, inshallah, this episode is going to be the continuation of the last episode, whereby we talk about the spiritual significance of the Night of Majesty and what it means for Muslims. So, inshallah, we are going. So, today is going to be an extension of yesterday's topic, inshallah. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go straight into it. So yeah, my brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing great as always. And you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, so without taking much time, yeah, let's go straight into it. So what do you have to say about this topic?
Yeah. So as we said yesterday, it's
Yeah.
not something that we can just dive into without reading the Quran, which is the surah which was dedicated to this night of majesty, which is Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Inna zalnahu fi laylat al-qadr. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, indeed it is we, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who sent this Quran down on this night of glory. He said, Wama adraka ma laylat al-qadr. He said, and what will make you realize what that night of glory is? He said, Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alf shahri. This is where we always, as we said yesterday, that this is where we need to focus on, which is khayrun min alf shahr. This night of majesty, which is hidden, that nobody knows about, it is better than 1,000 months. So, and as you said also yesterday, saying that if we calculate that 1,000 months, it is approximately 83 years. So, which is that an average years of when somebody that we can say that lived long at this time and age, we can say that the person died. So, 83 years, if the person witnesses that night of majesty and also got that 83 years for himself, so it is kind of like, there is no way and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgiving him his sins for 83 years. So which means somebody who died 83 years and that's witnessed that night of majesty, we should know that is going to be in peace on the day of Jannah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala followed that ayah by saying, تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم min kulli amr. He said the night of at this night, he said the angels and the only Holy Spirit, they are going to descend by the permission of the Lord. Even they themselves cannot do anything without Allah saying, "Yeah, go and do it." So Allah is the control of everything. So these angels and the Holy Spirit, which is Ruhu Fiha, they are going to Tanazzal, they are going to descend to the earth with the permission of Allah for every decree matter. So, and he said he entered with Salamun here hatta matla al-fajr. So he said it is all peace on the break of dawn. So, which is something that we all need to know. That is why when you're reading the Quran, you need to dedicate your time to reading it and trying to understand what it says. Because when you try to understand, well, as we've said before, that you need knowledge of what you're practicing. To be a Muslim, you need the knowledge of to be a Muslim. And the benefit of this night, as we've said yesterday also, that we are going to be continuing that benefit today, which is, we even said it is the night of forgiveness, which is what every single body is searching for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always in the Quran, when he says, Inna Allah ghafurur rahim. So after he ends that prayer, after he ends that, when he says ghafurun, which is he is the person who forgives, then he's going to end it with rahim, which means that when he forgives, he's going to bless the person. So that means that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven you, which is all what we are searching for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us, when he forgives us, then the rahmah is always automatically there. So according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also we've talked about the hadith also yesterday, as you've said, that Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever stands in prayer during the night of majesty, which is during the Laylatul Qadr, with faith and hoping for its reward, will have all of their previous sins forgiven, as you've said before. You said it yesterday. That you quoted the hadith yesterday. So they are going go for Allahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. So they are going to get all that sins of which they've committed at the past. They are going to get everything forgiven. So as a Muslim for ourselves, not to talk too much, as a Muslim for ourselves, we should always strive to make the most of this blessed night by engaging in prayers. So if it's nafla, make sure your 5 daily prayer is still there. More nafla, more nafla, more nafla, and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And recitation of the Quran also, make sure that is essential for yourself. Recite the Quran, because when you recite the Quran, you are going to see a lot of prayers in the Quran. And by you reciting it, Allah, if you read it with your qalb saying, yeah, I'm reading this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept my prayer, then your prayer will be automatically answered. And you should always also seek for Allah's forgiveness and mercy with this night. So for us to take the most of this blessed night, we all need to do all this for us to take the benefit of it. And before we pass the talk back to our moderator today, so we also we're going to go one hadith which was said by what is it called, which was given to us by the Prophet's wife, Aisha radiallahu anhu, radiallahu anha, sorry. So she asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said, when the night of majesty comes, so what should be the supplicate when the night comes? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied with Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa wa'fu anni. So which means, oh Allah, indeed you are pardoning and generous. So you love to pardon, so pardon us. So that's the meaning of what most of the people, most of us know today. And although some people don't say it correctly, so for you to know what you're missing if you're not saying it correctly, which is Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. That is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has even said. Sayyidatuna Aisha, when she asked what she is going to be saying at when the night of majesty gone. So if you have anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good introduction. What I would like to add to what you've mentioned is let me start from the last hadith that you quote. So the last hadith that you quote is just a point of reference, and it's something that we need to be doing over the course of these last 10 days of last 10 nights of Ramadan, or last 10 days of Ramadan. So we need to keep reciting it, to keep repeating it here and often without stopping at all. So it's one of the best things that you can be saying throughout these last 10 nights of Ramadan. So even if you don't know a lot of Askar or what you should be doing, at least this one that you just mentioned, which was reported by Sayyidah Aisha, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her to be saying this whenever she witnessed the night of majesty. So I think this is what, by following sunnah, which also as well we need to adopt this dua. We need to be doing it because it is part of sunnah.
Yeah,
Allah
it's kind of like a
is
culture that we need to
yeah,
follow.
it's kind of Islamic culture. It's kind of Islamic practice that we need to be doing. So we need to be doing it, and it is very, very important. It's one of the best things that you can be saying throughout the last 10 days, like over the course of these last 10 days that we know. So it's very, very important. Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Forgive us, ya Allah. So yeah, apart from that, also one of the things that we need to know is that we know that these last 10 days is the last 10 days are very important. Now it's remaining 9. So they are very important. So it's this night, as a Muslim, we need to make the best of it, as we said yesterday. And how can we make the best of it is by doing a lot of supplication, which is dua. So we need to be doing dua. We need to be doing dua within this night, because Allah said it's going to answer anyone who calls upon him.
On him, yeah.
So Yeah, if you are doing any supplication, so your dua is going to be accepted. So you need to do a lot of supplication. If you ask Allah, Allah is going to answer you. He's going to give you all your wishes. So you need to take the advantage. You need to take this moment. You need to do a lot of supplication. You, for example, maybe you're looking for a wife, or you want a good marriage. You want a good spouse, righteous wife. You want maybe a good contract. You want maybe good life. Anything you want. Maybe you're seeking for health. You have some sort of problems with maybe bodily diseases, or you have some kind of diseases, incurable disease as well. So you need to ask Allah for anything you want, anything. So it's a moment of supplication. It's a moment whereby you supplicate to Allah for anything you want. Maybe it's marriage, maybe it's wealth that you're seeking for, maybe it's guidance, maybe it's protection, maybe it's elevation, maybe psychological elevation, physical elevation, or financial elevation, any sort of elevation that you want. So this is when you need to be doing that supplication. And Allah is going to answer it. Don't just use all these last 10 nights or these days to be sleeping without doing anything. So it's going to be it's so embarrassing. It's
Yeah,
so
when you said
embarrassing for
sleeping,
some.
I remember
Yeah,
what they used to tell us before, just to make us be afraid and concentrate on that night, which is they used to tell us that anything you're doing at that time of majesty, and the angels were descended down to meet you on that thing, will be what you're going to be doing for the rest of that
mm,
year till the next later September. So that is it's something which is just to put fear in us, and just to make us concentrate. Because they used to say like if when you're sleeping, because you know that is the most thing that people do, sleep. So they
yeah,
say when you're sleeping and the angels came down and met you while sleeping, you're going to be
yeah,
sleeping to the next layer of content. So nobody wants to sleep. So everybody
yeah,
concentrates. So it's
yeah.
just one of the good things that people like they used to do. I don't know the source of that thing, but I know that they used to say a lot. So which is kind of like one of the good things someone has said about what is it called, just to make us concentrate, so which is a very good thing.
Yeah, so I just think that sort of thing, that sort of cultural thing, is part of what those they normally told us at that time as some sort of motivation, as some sort of inspiration, so that we can act more. As a child, for example, if you're studying the theory, the moral development by Piaget. He talks about this theory of moral development in a child. So a child has three stages of development in terms of morality. I mean, so the first stage is the conventional stage. So in the conventional stage, so we have this reward and punishment. So as a child needs something like something to be scared of. Like, don't do this. If you do this, I'm going to punish you. And do
Yeah.
this. If you do this, I'm going to give you this reward. So it's part of moral development in a child, and this is one of the reasons why our parents, of course, they normally kind of come up with this sort of culture of fear, by instilling fear in us that you shouldn't do this. If you do this, this is what is going to happen to you, and if you do that, this is what is going to happen to you. So as a result of, so that we can abstain from that thing, so that we can distance ourselves from that thing, so that we can curb our desires by not going into that thing, by not engendering ourselves into that thing. So that's one of the reasons. And as we are saying, so we're talking about this application, and we say it's very important. And what you said really resonates with the even the idea that this night itself, it's a night of majesty, so it's a night of decree. So we have in the Quran that Allah said, "Fiha yufraqu kullu amrin hakim." Fiha yufraqu kullu amrin hakim, meaning all the decree matters is going to be reorganized, going to be settled, going to be dispensed. So like destiny. So it's a night of destiny, in other words. So meaning this is the right opportunity for you to change your destiny, right? Meaning to ask Allah for what, for example, maybe what you don't want, to ask Allah to do this application. Yeah, Allah, I want this. Yeah, Allah, I want that. Things haven't been going well for me. So yeah, Allah, please. I want this. This is how I want it. Yeah, Allah, please, I want this. You know, so this is when you need to be doing. This is an opportunity for you, and you need to take the opportunity. And even like in addition to the supplication, which we said is very important. So one of the important things is for you to be doing supplication. And in addition to be doing supplication, there are other things that you need to be doing as well, which is doing a lot of nawafil, a lot of adhkar throughout this night. As you've mentioned before, that anyone who wakes up during Nawafil throughout the night as an act of faith and as someone who believes that there is a reward for him in that act, then Allah is going to forgive him all his previous sin. So that is also part of it. So we need to be very, very considerate, and we need to be doing a lot of nawafil, doing a lot of charity as well. So it is not confined to, for example, maybe reading Quran alone or reading Hadith alone. No, we can also be doing charity, help others, like by giving alms to others, help them, like being generous. As it was reported that Prophet Muhammad is the most generous, like we know that he's the most generous person on the surface of the earth. He's the most generous person. But in Ramadan, he's more generous in Ramadan. More generous in Ramadan. Why? Because it is an opportunity. So you as well, you, our listeners, they have to take the opportunity to be generous to others, give charity to others. If you see a poor person that is even struggling, he doesn't even have what to eat, so you can just support the person maybe with the little change that you have. Support them regardless of anything, just support them, give them what you have. So that one is also very, very compulsory to be doing charity. So imagine you are doing charity throughout these last 10 days or throughout these nights. Imagine you doing charity, and maybe probably one day you are possible to witness that one night. So if that charity that you're doing just possibly witness that one night of majesty, that means your reward is going to be multiple, your reward is going to be twofold or threefold of that. Like the reward is going to be like reward of 84 years in terms of charity. So, and apart from charity, so we need to be doing charity, we need to be generous. So that one is also part of it. Not just to be doing supplication to Allah, but also to be doing charity, to be generous to others, help others financially, physically, emotionally. Just help as much as possible to help others, to be generous to others. That one is also part of it. And another one is like a recitation of the Quran, to read a lot of Quran, be reading Quran. So we know that Quran, of course, man qara harfan, so he's going to get a reward based on the letter. It is not just alif lam mim harf. I didn't say alif lam mim is a harf. No, but alif itself is an harf. Lam itself is an harf. So it's going to get reward of this, and the reward is going to be in multiple. So in maybe 2, 3, 10 folds of the reward. So that's it. So we need to be doing a lot of recitation of the Quran. And when we are talking about the recitation of the Quran, it is not just merely reading or merely reciting Quran. No, it is recitation in concomitant with reflection. Recitation with concomitant reflection, meaning when you're reciting the Quran, you are also at the same time, simultaneously, you're going to be reflecting on the Quran that you are reading, because that is how you're going to benefit a lot from it. When you're reading any verse, when you're reading it, you try to understand it, because Allah is speaking to you to have this medium. So you have to reflect on it. By reflecting on it, that's going to have the inner influence in you, and it's going to reflect on your behavior, and it's going as well. It's going to increase your iman. It's going to increase your trust in Allah, because the more you
So,
reflect, the more you
not
read,
to,
you're going to
not
understand.
not to yeah, not to cut you off because of time.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
because I would want us to kind of like talk about it today because we didn't yesterday because we
yeah,
don't know if we are going to be doing the same topic tomorrow or another
yeah,
thing. So, we know that many Muslims like they choose to spend the last 10 days of Ramadan in seclusion, which is itikaf, and that is where they solely focus on worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and refrain themselves from the involvement in worldly affairs. So although this time it is a time to reflect and increase in worship and to increase their religion's knowledge also, because in Netikaf you'll see somebody who knows more than you, which is going to be there to explain the religion to other people and to make sure that everybody understands what he understands. And also, this is where you can see this seclusion. It's always like takes place in the central mosque, which is where Jum'ah can be prayed, because when we call seclusion, it's not something that you can say, yeah, going out, or stepping out of it and coming back and that. So, which is where all your ibadah and what you need, because the Jum'ah, which is kind of like a necessity for a man, so which is can be done. So that is where people do it, like in the central mosques. And that is, although I want us to talk about it today. What do you think? Do you think we are going to have more time tomorrow, or we should talk about it, like talking about the anti-calf itself, that's seclusion?
As you wish, as you wish. We can talk about it now. We can talk about it
Yeah,
tomorrow.
because of the time, because now we are 21 minutes, and I think we said it was going to be 20 minutes, but
Yeah,
now
so
we have
it's
20 more
it is
minutes.
what we can just we can summarize in just 2 minutes, I think.
So yeah, so I'm just going to say this then,
Mm.
because you might not talk about it, as the moderator. So you are going to be the person also to close the program also.
Yeah, so yeah, of course. So it's
So,
okay.
but I'm
Mm.
just going to talk about just practical
Mm-hmm.
in a, what is it called? Let's say in a sentence, because this
Okay.
it is sunnah that you
Yeah.
remain in i'tikaf for 10 days.
Yeah.
But also you can do the minimum, which can be 1 day or 1 night. But it is sunnah to do 10 days, because the Prophet ﷺ, does it in his lifetime. And also, it is this time, it is the great opportunity for everybody who can. If you know that you cannot, if you have, maybe if you serve a boss and you is not going to allow you go for it, so you don't say, yes, my destiny is Allah writing my, Allah is the one writing my destiny, so I want to um, say, I want to just disobey my boss, then go. My brothers and sisters, if you do this, if you do that, you are going to return after itikaf jobless. So you don't have to do, you don't have, if you know you can do it, if you know you have the capability to do it, it is the best thing to do. But if you cannot do it, if you have just the last night or the last day, you can try do the rest of the Laylatul Qadr in your house, and try to do the seclusion on the last day, because this is the time to implement good religious practices, and which can be carried on throughout the whole year. So it's not something that you just say, yeah, I want to just practice in itikaf. Then after itikaf, then you forgot everything. So which is not something good for everybody. So as I've said, I'm just going to repeat it one more time. Don't disobey your parents. Don't disobey anybody who you are under, or who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said you should be under the person, just because you want to go to Aitika. So if you
Mm.
disobey your boss and you don't have the time, he says, no, I'm not giving you that grant of 10 days to go for Aitika. And you say, yeah, Allah gave me the job, and I'm still going to come back, because Allah is going to answer my prayer when I get there and still come back. Brother, you're going to come back and get jobless. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also did not tell you to be stupid. So do this in your house, and when any day you are free, or you think you can do the seclusion in the month, do it also, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always forgive you all your sins every time, as we say. So before I give it to my moderator today to do the conclusion, we should always remember to say the what is it called, the prayer, which is for the forgiveness that the Aisha, our mother Aisha radiallahu anha, has reported from the Prophet, and he's saying, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. O Allah, fa'fu anna. O Allah, indeed, you are pardoning and generous. You love to pardon, so pardon us. So this is where I'm going to stop. Ask to my moderator for the day.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for brushing up the concept of etikaf, or the idea, the notion of etikaf. So just to round up and to conclude, I would say that, as we know, the itikaf is sunnah, and itikaf is basically not compulsory. Okay, so it is sunnah, it is voluntary. Doing it is part of you following the step of Prophet Muhammad, because it is part of sunnah. And also, it should be one of the conditions of itikaf is that it should be in the mosque. So you cannot do itikaf in your house. So if you're doing it in your house, what you're doing is not itikaf. You're just worshiping Allah alone, and it has another name, but not itikaf. So itikaf essentially is in the mosque. So anything outside the mosque is not called itikaf. So and when you're doing itikaf, of course, at least try to make it the 10 days, not just 1 day or 2 days, 10 days, which is the maximum. And if you see that you don't have that ability or that capacity due to some social or due to some personal circumstances, then you can reduce it to the minimum, 2, 3, 4 days, or anything possible for you. But at least just know that what you're seeking for is just the ta'atullah, so the obedience of Allah, to follow Allah and to make the best of this last 10 days night, and to do a lot of adhkar and a lot of worship. So it's not necessary for you to do the i'tikaf if your social circumstance doesn't give you that permission and that ability to do it. So of course you can be doing that askar in your house, you can be doing that recitation in your house. So you can be doing everything in your house. So what matter is that you have to wake up. You need to do askar. Don't just sleep throughout or over the course of these last 10 days. Don't sleep. Make sure you at least you wake up, even if it is just two nafila that you can do. Try to do it, and try to do a lot of askar, a lot of recitation. And as we say, try to be repeating these Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Ya Allah, you are the forgiver, you are the pardoner. Tuhibbul afwa, you love pardoning and you love forgiving. Fa'fu anna, forgive us, Ya Allah. Forgive us our sin, our shortcomings. So try to be doing this. Try to be doing this often. So try to be doing this and make sure you're doing it. And also, you should be doing istighfar as well. You should be doing a lot of istighfar. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Innaka ghafurun rahim. And also, you should be doing salat ala nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wasallim. You should be doing that as well. And also, we have some other azkar that you can be doing in addition to the recitation and reflection of Quran that we just mentioned before, that we've said before. So yeah, that's it. At least in addition to all what we've already mentioned, try to be doing supplication as well. As we said, that this night is night of destiny. So it is a night whereby you are given the opportunity to change your destiny, to ask Allah for anything you want, anything you can imagine, anything you want to ask Allah, and Allah is going to answer. Is going to give you that your wish. Is going to give you that thing that you are seeking for. Is going to answer. You are going to give you. Having said that, then we are going to come to the end of this episode. So we thanks shout out to our listeners and to our viewers and to our audience for following us till now. So we say jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah give you guys abundant wealth and sound health as well. So thank you so much as usual, and don't forget to follow us and to subscribe and to comment. Inshallah. Thank you so much. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.